Hi, everyone. Welcome to this IAC Learning Circle. My name is Brian Lowell French, and I'll be your host and moderator for this important session today, but joined with so many of my friends and colleagues on the sustainability team. And we're very excited to be sharing with you the new IAC Sustainability Coaching Toolkit, designed to equip you to coach for a sustainable future. A reminder that translations are available. You can look down in the bottom of the Zoom interface, click on the interpretation button, and select the translation of your choice. We will be speaking in English today, but trying to speak slowly enough for the interpreters to be able to do their job and interpret into your preferred language. I did want to stress that the toolkit is now available in your members portal. When you go to your members portal, simply scroll down and you will find it in the four available languages of English, Spanish, French, and Chinese. And it's very fitting that we are launching this toolkit right now as the United Nations General Assembly is meeting in New York, with the 193 member states coming together to work towards a more peaceful and more sustainable future. And on Sunday, they passed the resolution that they're calling the Pact for the Future to reassert the focus on sustainable development and meeting the major needs of the world. And coinciding this week is also Climate Week, also in New York, where global representatives across public and private sectors gather together to partner in addressing the climate change crisis. Climate change is number 13 on the UN Sustainable Development Goals, known by the acronym of SDGs. And of the 17 goals, it is perhaps the most known and most discussed, but all of the 17 are interconnected. Each of them affects the other goals. And as a global community, we each play a part in working together towards a more sustainable future. And as coaches, we have this unique opportunity to help people to discover the important role that they can play in addressing these global needs through their work and through their life. And this wonderful team of coaches on the IAC Sustainability team, who you'll hear from today, have been meeting over the past year and a half to create information and tools to help you to be part of the solution. So let me introduce them, and then I'll invite each of them to share about what sustainability coaching means to them before we then share the sustainability toolkit, walk through it so you have a good sense of how to utilize it. So we have with us today to share information Anjali Nair, who you know is our wonderful past president and board member based in India. We also have Charlie Marshall Nunu, Africa Regional Coordinator based in Cameroon, but I believe currently in Senegal for a meeting. And we also have Martha Pasternak, Treasurer and Board Member based in the US. We have Olafunka Dina, who is our newest member of the sustainability team, currently based in the US, working on a doctoral program in environmental sciences. And we have Ritu Mathur, based in India, also a board member. And of course, myself, I'm a board member based in the US. So, again, I would love to just hear from each of our presenters today about that important question of what sustainability means, sustainability coaching means to them. So, Anjali, would love to start with you. Would you like to share for a couple of minutes?
Thanks, Brian. It's so wonderful to see so many familiar faces, and thanks, Brian, for setting such a powerful context to this conversation. To me, sustainability coaching is a mindset that is rooted in care and compassion in our relationship with self, with others, with nature. And I do believe that there are two foundational elements that truly nurtures this mindset. One is awareness, the other is harmony. Awareness, of course, is a very dear friend for coaches. By raising awareness, we enable possibilities and truly explore what's of value to the client. And as a coach, the sustainability mindset to me cultivates what we call a systemic lens to help our clients draw connections, between who they are, who they wish to be in relation to the community they interact with closely. And that's why I see the UN Sustainable Development Goals that you were referring to at the start, and I know we'll dig deeper, is a very powerful framework to really cultivate this mindset and have this conversation, because it brings with it a lens of economic, social, and environmental factors, and so beautifully. So for us as coaches, then there is a catch here. It talks about lifelong learning, where we continue to challenge the boundaries of our knowledge and our awareness. So that brings us to harmony, which gently sits at the intersection of these lenses. When all three are in harmony, it fosters that prosperity, not just prosperity, but well-being, social equity. So there is so much more richness to this. It has the power to shape the quality of conversations and decisions. To conclude, I'm drawing from Brian's inspiration around the parallel conversations in UN, but there's a very compelling quote to me which captures sustainability coaching. This is by the UN Secretary General, and he says that the Sustainable Development Goals are not just a list of goals. They carry hope, dreams, rights, and expectations of people everywhere. What a beautiful way to set what sustainability coaching is. That's my 2 bits, Brian. Thank you so much.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Anjali, and a wonderful quote from Antonio Guterres. Next, we'd like to invite Charlie Marshall Nunu, our Africa Regional Coordinator and one of the founding members of our sustainability team, on to share his answer to that question about what sustainability coaching means to me. Charlie.
Yeah, bonjour from Senegal, and where we just talk of the UN guiding principles that apply actually to business rights for companies. And then I was actually telling some here, presenting what we are doing now. I shared it with some of the people, and then I see a young lady that told me that she works with APC, called Association for Progressive Communication. As you know, it's not actually communication, but it's working with platforms, given all the problems that platforms are putting on the table today. And I'm actually in Dakar for actually business human right for the tech sector, for the tech sector, and given everything that you see today around internet and the influence of multinationals and platforms on citizens, another aspect of sustainability. So, and the lady told me, so as you coaches help companies thrive, you should actually be the one telling them and making them aware of sustainability issues. And I think this struck me, because it means clearly that as coaches, we are, well positioned to understand, why companies need, to have this mindset, this awareness around sustainability that Anjali just talked about. So I would just borrow from Anjali then and say that sustainability for us is actually letting businesses, world leaders understand that in as much as we would like to have growth, we also need to make sure that growth is not jeopardizing, future generations, as we start seeing it in this present generation. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Charlie. And next, we'd love to hear from Martha Pasternak, sharing her answer to this question: what sustainability coaching means to me. Martha? Yep, looks to be you're on mute, Martha.
I'm always on mute.
There we are.
So what does sustainability coaching mean to me? I see sustainability coaching as a conversation between the coach and the one being coached, and by extension to all those that that person will connect with. I see all coaching relationships as being collaborative conversations. I see sustainability coaching conversations having the potential to create a space to explore and discover. They acknowledge what has come before. They appreciate what's here now. And they embrace what is possible. And Anjali brought in the notion of possibility, as Charlie did. So sustainability coaching means the world to me. The ways in the conversation, we address the ways we engage and perhaps isolate from our dreams, our goals, and our desires. They explore the ways we love what is here and now, and how we may fear, perhaps dread, what could be, what might be. Sustainability coaching explores ways we can offer hope and ways we may be settling for hopelessness out of our denial that there's indeed an issue to be addressed. The coaching conversation explores how we can clarify our awareness and ways we perhaps accept complacency. Within the conversation, we can explore ways that we can discover and support ways we may have nurtured helplessness. It explores ways where we can be responsible and ways we may have been overcome by apathy. Sustainability coaching explores ways we can find the passion for what we value and the caring about it, and ways we may have been careless and detached from what we care about. Sustainability coaching explores ways we can accept accountability as a global citizen, because each and every one of us counts. I see this conversation as perhaps one of the most important conversations 2 or more people could ever have in their lifetime. It means the world to me. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you so much, Martha. Beautifully said. And now we'd like to turn to Olafunke to share your thoughts, Olafunke, on what sustainability coaching means to you.
Thank you so much, Brian. Hello, everyone. As an environmental research scientist doing my doctoral study presently, the word sustainability is very paramount. And our sustainability coaching is a modality that I believe, if well embraced by everyone, we help to bring about a synergy and a balance between people, profit, the environment, and the future generation. So I will simply describe sustainability coaching as a methodology or a framework in which individuals are helped, organizations are helped, governments are helped, businesses are helped in a way to adopt more environmentally friendly and socially responsible practices. And this could involve like raising awareness about environmental and social issues. Like Charlie said previously, most of the manufacturing companies in our society today focus primarily more at the profit net rather than the environmental implication, thereby bringing about a lot of depletion, degradation into the environment and making it unsafe to be inhabited by people. So sustainability coaching can pivot towards raising awareness about environmental and social issues. Also, sustainability coaching can be an avenue of promoting sustainability practices and behaviors among citizens, among organizations, among business owners and stakeholders. Sustainability coaching also can help clients reduce their ecological footprint. And lastly, I would love to say sustainability coaching to me is a way of assisting in developing and implementing sustainable strategies. Because, for instance, it's not as if most of our people or the government, the people in big position that can implement law policies, it's not as if they are not aware of what is going on in the environment, but they lack the ability to be able to implement these strategies to bring about an equilibrium between people and the environment. So sustainability coaching can be a way of helping to develop and implement sustainable strategies that can help the world to be a safe place to live. Thank you.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Olafunke. And now we'll ask Ritu to step in and share your thoughts on what coaching means to you.
Thank you, Brian. Good morning and good evening, everyone. I think right from Anjali to Martha and Charlie and Olafunke already has explained very beautifully what sustainability coaching means to them. And I'll just add to that aspect, and I would just mention that for me, it means it reflects a commitment to something greater than individual or immediate outcomes. It means having a sustainability mindset as a coach and to think long-term beyond immediate results and consider the broader impact of actions on the environment, society, and economy. And as Charlie already mentioned, I think that a lot of developing countries are struggling to balance, the profit aspect with, paying equal attention to environment and the society at large. And it's a juggling act for even organizations and businesses. And as coaches, what we could do is to encourage a holistic view when we engage in coaching conversations with our coaches in organization, and so that they focus on ethical decision making, and they also focus on fostering values, habits, and mindset that promote balance between both personal or organizational success. And as Martha always says, and that inspires me deeply, is that we also have to look to the well-being of the future generation. And I think that's something which is very, very imperative, that we don't focus only on the present, but focus on the legacy that we are leaving behind for the future generation. So that's it from my side, Brian. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, thank you so much, Ritu, for being with us on this journey. And you can tell from what you just heard, so much wisdom is represented within the sustainability team, and it's just been a pleasure to meet with them over the last year and a half, to learn from them and to grow with them. And as we work together to create this wonderful resource for you that you'll see in just a moment, it's just been a joy. It's been an absolute joy. So my quick remarks on what sustainability coaching means to me. The practical matter is, it means coaching those who are working in the sustainability space to help them to be more effective. But it also means coaching others who are not working directly in the sustainability space, but inviting them to make the connection between the work that they do and the broader needs of people and planet. As you've heard, so much of organizational life is spent focusing on profit, on the money aspects, monetary aspects, but inviting people to think more broadly to those broader systems of people and of planet. And in my own journey, I've created a very simple framework for my own personal growth, but I also use this with clients. And the simple framework is to be aware, to be informed, and to be engaged. So be aware of the needs, be informed on the impact, and be engaged in the solutions. And within this toolkit, we have endeavored to create a path to fulfill these three elements for all of you. By reviewing the toolkit, you'll raise your awareness. By exploring the links to all of the many, many resources, you'll be informed of the impacts. And by utilizing the information within your coaching, you can be engaged in the solutions. And this can be done within the broader framework of the IAC values and ethics that we promise to adhere to through our certification process and through the very important framework of the Coaching Masteries. And you'll hear in a moment how that frame comes to be within this space of sustainability coaching. So ultimately, sustainability coaching is like any other coaching. When we are knowledgeable and have experience in an area of professional or personal life that the client is wanting some clarity on and working on, it's natural to provide the information to expand their understanding. So if we can all become more knowledgeable in the areas of sustainability, we can provide information within the ethical guidelines of the coaching engagements to expand their understanding. But I do like to make the clarification up front in these sessions that language is important. We're not imposing. We're not trying to influence. We're not inserting our values or belief systems upon the client. We're instead inviting, engaging, and hopefully enabling the client to self-explore and to choose the path that will be most meaningful for them. So a question that I often use with my clients is simply this: what is the greater good that we need to accomplish together? What is the greater good that we need to accomplish together? And by using this question within my coaching engagements, it invites the client to be aware, informed, and engaged. So with that, let us now walk through the toolkit so you can see how you can utilize it within your coaching work. And as we start to share the toolkit, I would also invite you to share in the chat box what sustainability coaching means to you. We would love to get your perspective added to what you've just heard from the sustainability team. So please share that as we continue on with the session. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go through the pages of the sustainability toolkit, not reading it page by page, word for word, but just to give you a sense of what the toolkit is and how you can apply the toolkit within your coaching work. And as mentioned, the toolkit is now available within your members portal. So sharing that real quick, all you need to do is log into the portal, scroll down a bit, and you'll see the IAC Sustainability Coaching Toolkit section right here. And as mentioned earlier, it is available in 4 languages currently, and those are English, Spanish, Chinese, and French. And you'll be able to review and utilize the toolkit in your preferred language. Today, we will be sharing the English translation. So if you would like to go on out and grab your translation, if you would like to scan through it in your local language, please do so. But as we now share the screen, I'm going to first invite Anjali on to talk about the introductory section, the first couple of pages within the toolkit, and how it came to be. It talks about the history of our involvement in sustainability as an association, and also sets the framework for what we're doing within this project. So, Anjali?
Thanks, Brian. Sure. And, what I'm going to share with you, while there's a more detailed explanation both on the IAC website and in the toolkit, is just a short trailer of what really happened and the story so far. So you could look at it as 2 really short chapters, with the third one starting today. It started somewhere around early 2020, where the IAC Board of Governors had the opportunity to meet with the founders of a global alliance. This includes 9 global coach certification and supervision bodies, which now stands at 13 members and going strong. We also had the opportunity to meet with the Climate Coaching Alliance, which many of you have perhaps been a part of as a community. By mid-2020, IAC became a signatory to the Global Alliance, and this was a great milestone because a strong collaborative alliance was shaping up in our industry towards Brian referred to the SDG 13, the Sustainable Development Goals, so climate action initiatives. And as a collaborative body, we had a very clear objective to serve as a unified voice, to raise awareness, and co-create resources to support the coaching communities, largely to help coaches engage in climate action initiatives. So you will see references of these alliances as JGSG, which stands for Joint Global Statement Group. Parallelly, there was something happening within IAC as well. We initiated conversations within BOG, within the Board of Governors, the Executive Committee, and we initiated the first webinar during the Quo coaching series. This was around the UN Sustainable Development Goals and ESG. And look at the journey so far. The question we were answering at that time was, how is this topic even related to coaching? That was the start of the journey. The second chapter or the milestone started with, how do we move ahead? How do we mobilize action? And I think this was a turning point for the IAC. While behind the scene, there was a lot of collaboration and work with the alliance partners, which was continuing to grow. We were looking at strategy. We were looking at how do we enable and empower coaches further, move away from information providing and raising awareness to engaging them more closely. But from an IAC perspective, 2022 was very significant. It gave birth to the IAC Sustainability team. Brian joined in as a partner and leading this initiative, exceptionally well for the IAC. And as I reflect on that couple of the last 2 years, I truly feel overwhelmed and grateful to each and every committee member that joined it. I remember every conversation, Martha, Charlie, Ritu, and our newest member, Olufunke, each with such diverse experience, expertise, perspectives, wisdom. What it helped us do is collectively make a very conscious decision to broaden our scope beyond SDG 13. And we look at the 17 UN SDGs. This decision was also greatly influenced by our members. I remember, Betsy was driving many of the chapter meets, and there was so much of conversations that was coming in from chapter leaders and members on what they were engaging in. So we knew we were sitting at a with so much of treasure of wisdom within our community. And 3 events shaped the 2022 to the current journey. The first, we hosted with our alliance partners a roundtable dialogue. We wanted to engage the community further. So, and you will see many of these recordings. We partnered with many of the other, alliance partners as well, and brought in conversations which truly is based on the UN principle of, looking at what's needed in that region. 2022, we simultaneously also launched another capacity building project, and Shan is here. We drove the Sustainable Development Goal 4 initiative, Quality in Education, where he contributed so much to that initiative. And I know Dennis Pang has joined in as an accredited school. There was so much of conversations, collaborations, and the initiative was called Transforming Education Through Coaching. Today is a significant milestone. Last year, Brian led this phenomenal effort to create this toolkit that you're seeing today. There has been, this is a turning point. There has been so much of conversations, discussions, debates, and iterations that we've had as a committee and with Exco. We have Catherine joining in today, who's been a friend of the sustainability team, who has been actively contributing as well. And with this, I think we embark on the next stage, which is active engagement and co-creation. Look at it as an open source operating system, which will only get richer with your experiences and feedback. So our invitation to you would be, as you use the tool, get back to us, share with us, so that this remains a work in progress in terms of what we are creating for the world of coaching. That's a short synopsis, and I hope you enjoyed the story.
Yes, thank you so much, Anjali. And Anjali has been the driver of this, along with many others. But Anjali's really been the light of sustainability within the IAC and representing us so well within the JGSG. And I was very grateful that she asked me to join as a representative on the JGSG committee as well. So she and I meet with the group quarterly to learn from the other coaching associations what they're doing, to share with them what we're doing. And definitely we will be sharing the story of putting this toolkit together. And as you said, please share with us your feedback, how you are able to apply it, so we can then share that story with the other coaching associations represented in the world. So now we'd like to turn to the next page as we move now to some of the practicality. And we'd love to have Martha come in to share with you about how we discussed aligning the coaching masteries while using them within the space of sustainability coaching. So Martha, would love to get your impression on that.
I'm off mute.
You're working, yes.
Sustainability Toolkit. So this part of the Sustainable Coaching Toolkit is dense. It's deep and, dare I say, full of potential, eager to be discovered. I wanted to talk about the difference between a tool and a skill. For me, a tool is a thing. The skill we develop by learning to use the tool can be different each time we use the tool. For example, a hammer is a tool. We learn how to hold it and hit the nail on the head and hopefully join two pieces of wood together. That's the skill. The hammer is the tool, and the skill is how to use it. A pencil is a tool. We learn how to hold it and place it on paper. Well, in the old days anyway, we used pencils. Place it on the paper and create writing or a picture of a flower, or a picture of a cat, or solve mathematical equations. Those are the skills that we learn by using the pencil as the tool. When we engage our clients in a coaching conversation, the question is the tool. Silence is the tool. How we learn to use these tools to create possibility is the skill. Our masteries are tools. The skill we develop by using these tools is our understanding of the masteries. Our experience of using these tools develops our skill and will, over time, guide us to coaching mastery. Our masteries are related to and supported by each other. This is to say, the masteries don't stand alone. They do not stand alone. All masteries build upon each other and are interconnected. When I think of the masteries, I personally place them on a circle, all equidistant from the center. In this today, and when we use the masteries otherwise, we see them as numbered, a numbered list, and that's for ease of understanding. But they can ebb and flow among each other. It's not a 1, 2, 3 step process, and you all know that. For this conversation, I thought of focusing on masteries 2, 8, and 9. Mastery number 2. When we perceive, affirm, and expand potential, possibility becomes more clear. The ways we can gather the kind of support and see if and how that support can be sustainable our passion and our intentions become more clear as well. I have experienced over the years that when a person recognizes and accepts their genuine potential, the doors open wide to allow possibility to enter the conversation. The awareness of potential and possibility allows a focused exploration of support, and support that is in alignment with the client's passion, the client's values and intentions, as Brian mentioned in his statement, and aligned with their present reality. That is empowering, and that is sustainable. So in the toolkit, with each mastery, and I just picked these 3, there's 9 of them, and you could do this with all of them on your own. The question that the toolkit asks you is, in what ways have our clients considered how they can help sustainability matters? And as coaches, consider opportunities to help clients expand their mindset to recognize the important role that they can fill, because each one of us counts. Each one of us has a gift to give. Discovering that gift, discovering that potential is what sustainability coaching can offer. Number 8, inviting possibility. In our toolkit, asks us to consider how to use opportunities to invite our client to think in new ways of how they can support sustainability in their work and in their personal life, in ways that align with their personal value systems. And so I would imagine that in a coaching conversation, we would each explore a person's personal values. In what ways can we invite the client to explore the possibilities of how they can support sustainability matters, if that is one of their values? There's a way. There is a unique and personal way that a person can do that. Mastery number 9, helping the client create and use supportive, and I insert into this sustainable systems and structures. How do we know that whatever support system we choose can be sustainable and in support of our intentions, of our dreams, our goals, and our desires? What systems and structures are available to help the client in setting intentions and exploring possibility? And consider ways to help the client determine tools, more tools, systems, how to use the tools, how to engage the systems, and other information that is pertinent to support their efforts. How do we help them to develop a monitoring and accountability system to remain focused on their effort and to be open to when that focus shifts over time, over the coaching conversation? Often that happens. We all know I don't know that we all know, but in my experience, people come in saying, I want to talk about this this is what I need to talk about. And over the process of exploration, something else grander and more important to them emerges. I have an invitation for you in regard to the masteries, and that is to take a real life experience that you're going through and coach yourself going through the masteries. See how the questions emerge. See how your thoughts change when you start to answer the questions you just asked yourselves. This is a way to deepen your connection with the masteries. I've done it a couple times, first time during the pandemic, the isolation of the pandemic. And now, given the I'm trying not to say chaos of, or the tumultuous life that is mine right now, how can I find my center in this time? I'm coaching myself by asking me questions. If they're closed questions, I catch myself because that shuts me down. So play with that, play with the masteries, and let us know how that works for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Martha. And we're also going to invite Martha to share about the next sections in the toolkit about how this aligns with the IAC values and ethics. So, Martha? Oh, you're on mute, Martha.
The paragraphs that are in the toolkit about our values and our ethics are very strong. So please go through and read those. And again, it mentions asking our clients to clarify their values and invite them to consider how those values shape their view of sustainability. This, of course, is after you perhaps ask them, what does sustainability mean to you? In our ethics, we have principles of competence, integrity, and again, this is in the toolkit, professional responsibility, and respect for people's rights and dignity. And these also help us in connection with our masteries and our values, that we deepen our understanding, deepen our questioning on how sustainability might emerge and be expanded and enhance our clients' dreams, goals, and desires in this realm. So I took the masteries again, and I associated a value and an ethic with each one, just for fun. So perceiving, number 2, perceiving, affirming, and expanding the client's potential. In what ways have our clients considered how they can help sustainability matters? The value here that we hold is lifelong learning. We believe in our innate human potential for discovery, for growth, transformation by expanding awareness and understanding and applying learning. As coaches, consider the opportunities to help clients expand their mindset. The ethic associated with mastery number 2 and what's been offered here is professional relationship. Coaches provide their services only in the context of the IAC professional standards. Trust and responsibility are at the heart of the coaching profession, and I'm reading from our ethics. It is expected that coaches will always act with integrity towards their clients, their peers, and themselves. And this is important. Back to this being a collaborative conversation, we are compelled to always be aware of how we are engaging in the coaching conversation, not only the answers that our clients give to our questions. We're dancing with them. We're having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Number 8, inviting possibility. In what ways can we invite the client to explore the possibilities of how they can support sustainability matters? The value here is integrity. We approach all situations courageously and with truth and honesty, seeking fairness in all matters and maintaining high ethical standards. You can pick whatever value makes sense to you. These are just the ones that jumped at me in certain conversations. Consider how to use the opportunities in ways that align with their personal value systems. The ethic here is also, again, maintaining a personal awareness of how we are engaging in the conversation. Number 9, what systems and structures are available to help the client in setting intentions and exploring possibilities. The value here is responsibility. We focus on accountability, credibility, and sustainability, cultivating well-being and maintaining a centered approach to address the needs of all people, societies, businesses, the climate, how our climate is affected by people, society, and businesses. Those are not just people, but we serve those other systems as well.
Right.
Consider ways to help the client determine tools, systems, and other information. The ethic here is misuse of coaches' influence. Because coaches' professional judgments and actions may affect the lives of others, they are alert to and guard against personal, financial, social, organizational, political factors that might lead to the misuse of their influence. And Brian, the last thought is also in the handbook. I'm sorry, I'm reading from it, but it's hard to beat. It's so beautifully put. Through the Coaching Masteries, and I will add here, together with our values and our ethics, our clients can grow and discover how they can help to address the important needs represented by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And as a scientist, I will also add this. My thought. It is time to bust through the inertia of self-importance and move into the haven of possibility.
Wonderful.
And that's what I have to offer without reading everything word for word.
Good.
Thank
you
you
so much, Martha. And as always, so poetically said and importantly said. So wonderful. I loved your analogy of the dance, and that's a good lead into the next section where we talk about some sample sustainability coaching questions. The dance that we have with our clients, we want to make sure that we're not stepping on their toes, and that is the delicate balance that we hold with them in this space. And as I shared earlier, earlier, as Martha alluded to, we're not imposing our value system upon them. We may feel very strongly about, say, climate change or one of the other sustainable development goals. And it can be very tempting to just start stepping on their toes and saying, well, you need to consider this. But that is not coaching, as we all know. So we put together, the team and I put together some sample questions to just start your mind in going in this direction. So the first one, what is most meaningful to you in the world? Asking that simple question can invite them to think outside of their organization, their business, and to think about the broader elements of the world. And I'll let you scan down through here, and I would love to hear you share in the chat box which of these is speaking to you as one that you feel that you could go ahead and start incorporating in your coaching engagements. So feel free to just copy and paste it, or just type it out, or list the number of the bullet of the one that you feel really is asking you a deep question, and one that you feel you could start utilizing within your coaching engagements. And as you do that, I'll just share that there was an allusion earlier that Ritu and Martha mentioned. That is just asking about what kind of world do we hope is left to the next generations. If you know that the client has children, then you can ask them about what do you hope is left to your children and grandchildren. If they are not personally a parent, you can just ask them more generically, what kind of world do you hope is left to the people of the next generations? And thinking long-term, thinking generationally, can again open up the mind to explore the deeper questions, to explore the broader systems. And an obvious follow-up question to their statements regarding this answer would be then to say, what can you personally do to help create this world that you have just envisioned? So coaching questions are powerful within the space, but they must be delicately placed, delicately stated, so that we're not imposing, we're not influencing, we're simply inviting. So with that, I want to invite Charlie on now to share the next section, which is a longer section going from the bottom of page 5 to through page 7. And that is all of the learning and resource links that the team has brought together for you to explore. Charlie?
Yeah, bonjour. Rebonjour, as we usually say here. And please forgive me for any noise in the background, because I just try to borrow a place to speak with you all here. And Brian, I think you just said it. All the questions, those powerful questions that we have prepared as example in this toolkit, it's another token of what we see, even when we talk of this learning and resource links, you know, they are actually learning resources. And the key here is just to give to our coaches, you know, all the meaning that we have when we think of sustainability, so that we clearly understand that this is not something that, or maybe a topic that IAC has coined. No, it's actually a global quest today. And I think sustainability has started being a very serious question when some organizations, you know, try to look at what we call, for example, Earth overshoot. You know, that very day in the year when the planet consumes all its resources. And I think when you get to this sort of meaning, you understand clearly that our resources, or maybe what we have on Earth, is not actually infinite. And then if we are living in a kind of finite space, we have to care about how we consume and all those type of, and Brian is going through this. And also, we have to acknowledge that the UN system has actually gathered all the countries to make sure every one of them can be part of this commitment, because it is not even a way of now being just aware and just informed and just engaging, as Brian just said in its 3 words that he loves so much. It's actually to bring everyone to commit. And that's what happened even yesterday, as many countries gathered in New York, to assess where they are when it comes to, achieving the SDGs. And then they signed another, this another pact for the future that Brian just talked about. And when I'm just reading from the United Nations Sustainable Development Group, it's a landmark declaration pledging concrete actions towards a safer, more peaceful, sustainable, and inclusive world for tomorrow's generation. So there is clearly some sort of worry about what is going on now, even when it comes to, the previous pledge that we took in 2015. So there is a new quest to renew the pledge, to renew the commitment of countries. And so all the resources that we are given here is actually to make this fire keep burning, that we don't forget, because when we get into, nose into all our own personal worries or maybe business worries as coaches, we tend to forget that there are clear and specific type of worries that relate to what we call ecology. And I think this is a word that we love in coaching. These resources are here to tell us that, what we call ecology is actually a framework, a serious framework that all the world and global bodies and all the countries have decided to go for. That means for us that we need to do something that is also in the SDGs. Olufunke will probably talk about that. We try to say we need to localize. We always say we localize, the SDGs. And now we would like to individualize this, so that when you speak head to head with your customers, with your coachee, that you bring this on the table without imposing, without, trying to set your own agenda as we know it, but by building on all these resources, just to refine and sharpen the way you build your questions and sharpen the way, you approach the topic so that the customer will feel at ease, taking in himself this sort of pledge and commitment. And I think we will, and I'm borrowing this from Anjali, we will keep, updating these resources as the one that I just took here, the UN guiding principles, applying to tech sector. And, previously we would be talking sustainable development, looking at oil, fossils, and things like that. But today you have technology, impacting the individual life, even at the heart of their house. They don't even need to go on the bush. They don't even need to go in desert or I don't know where, but you sit at home and then you are heated. So we need to make sure that all these resources are here updated and, also simplify. When you look at the good life goals that Brian just put there, is the fourth from the bottom. When you look at good life goals, you see clearly very simple and illustrated way of looking at the SDGs. So if I have something to say, I would like to start from there. If you are not used to this, to the SDGs language or framework, the good life goal gives you clearly what good life means if you think in the framework of the SDGs. And I will end this, Brian, by coming back to, your balanced, mindful, caring model. And I will recommend this one. I got the book gracefully from Brian, and I think the book is always free and available for all the coaches here. It's called Harmonic Leadership, and therein Brian provides great models, very simple, very practical, that he has practiced himself, to make sure we can have a kind of leading questions, while we do our coaching sessions. And that brings in all kind of inclusion, all kind of safe space for coaches and customers. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Charlie, and thank you for highlighting that one as well. It's as mentioned, it's free for everyone around the world, and this model does provide a very simple framework to invite people to consider themselves, the broader systems, and the Earth, and the impact that they want to leave upon those broader systems and ultimately the Earth. And it's fitting that Charlie set us up so well for the Sustainable Development Goals, because as mentioned in 2015, when they were approved, Charlie was actually there at the UN and part of that conversation. And we'd love to invite Olufunka on now to share a bit about the goals. And I'm going to be sharing the screen so you can see a more in-depth version of the Sustainable Development Goals from this link. Olufunke? See, it looks like you're on mute.
Sorry, apologies, everyone.
Oh, there you are.
In this section, I'm going to be talking about the application of sustainability coaching to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And the aim, the objective is, as coaches, as we work with our clients whose professional and personal endeavors revolve around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, we'll be able to see how we can infiltrate the sustainability coaching framework in helping them to make sure that the agenda of making the earth a better place, a safe place, and protecting the future generation is accomplished. So the first goal in the United Nations Development Goals is no poverty. And this goal speaks to ending poverty in all its forms everywhere. The goal aims to eradicate extreme poverty, reduce the proportion of people living in poverty in all its dimensions. So sustainability coaching in this goal can help organizations develop fair wage policies, create job opportunities in underprivileged areas, and implement poverty alleviation programs. The second goal in the United Nations Development Goals is zero hunger. And this goal speaks to ending all hunger, achieve food security, and improved nutrition, promote sustainable agriculture, thereby ensuring access to safe, nutritious food for all people. Sustainability coaching in these regards can help in guiding businesses in sustainable agriculture practices, food waste reduction strategies, and support for local food system. The third goal is good health and well-being. The objective of this goal is to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. And this encompasses reducing maternal mortality, ending preventable deaths of newborns and children, and combating communicable diseases. In this regard, sustainability coaching can help in focusing on promoting workplace wellness programs, improving occupational health and safety, and supporting community health initiatives. The fourth goal speaks to quality education, and this goal includes ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education, promote lifelong learning opportunities for all by achieving universal literacy. Sustainability coaching in this regard can help organizations develop educational programs, support skill building initiatives, and promote lifelong learning opportunities for employees and communities. Goal 5 speaks to gender equality. This goal aims to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. And this involves ending all forms of discrimination and violence against women and girls. Sustainability coaching in these regards can help in assisting in creating gender inclusive policies, promoting equal opportunities, and addressing gender biases in the workplace. The sixth goal speaks to clean water and sanitation. The objective of this goal is to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all, which includes improving water quality and increasing water use efficiency. Sustainability coaching in this regard can involve strategies for water conservation, wastewater management, and supporting clean water initiatives in local communities. The seventh goal speaks to affordable and clean energy, which revolves around ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. This involves increasing the share of renewable energy in the global energy mix. Sustainability coaches in this regards, as coaches, when I talk about sustainability coaching, I'm just giving us an examples of how we can come in, the modality, the frameworks of supporting our clients that find themselves in the space in any of these goals. So as a sustainability coach, concerning affordable and clean energy, I can work with my clients in guiding towards transitioning to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, and developing sustainable energy policy. The 8th goal talks about decent work and economic growth. The objective of this goal from the United Nations is to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. As a sustainability coach, now I don't want to use sustainability coaching anymore. I want to use the word sustainability coach. I want to like personalize it. I want us to see ourselves in this framework. I want us to see ourselves as we are the one working with our clients who find themselves in any of these goals to achieve this. So I'm going to say, as a sustainability coach, I am to help my clients create fair labor practices, promote ethical supply chains, and develop sustainable business models that contribute to economic growth. The 9th goal speaks to industry, innovation, and infrastructure. The objective of this goal is to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. As a sustainability coach, we are entitled to focus on implementing sustainable technologies, thereby promoting eco-innovation and developing resilient infrastructure. The 10th goal speaks to reduce inequalities. The objective of this goal is to reduce inequality within and among countries, which includes promoting social, economic, and political inclusion for all. As a sustainability coach, we can guide organizations in creative, inclusive policies, promoting diversity, and supporting initiatives that address social and economic inequalities. The 11th goal speaks to sustainable cities and communities. The objective of this goal is to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. And this involves ensuring access to safe and affordable housing and basic services for all. As a sustainability coach, you can help urban planners and local governments develop sustainable urban strategies, promote green spaces, and implement smart city technologies. This 12th goal speaks to responsible consumption and production. This goal revolves around ensuring sustainable consumption and production practices, which includes reducing waste generation and promoting sustainable management of natural resources. As a sustainability coach, we can help in involving strategies for circular economic practices, sustainable procurement, and promoting responsible consumer behavior. This 13th goal speaks to climate action, and the objective of this goal is to take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. This involves integrating climate change measures into national policies and improving education on climate change. As a sustainability coach, we can guide organizations in developing climate action plans, reducing carbon footprints, and implementing climate adaptation strategies. The 14th goal speaks to life below water. The objective of this goal is to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, the seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. And this includes reducing marine pollution and protecting marine ecosystems. As a sustainability coach, we can focus on helping our clients in reducing plastic waste, implementing sustainable fishing practices, and supporting marine conservation efforts. The 15th goal speaks to life on land. The objective of this goal is to protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably managing the forest, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. As a sustainability coach, we can help organizations develop biodiversity protection strategies, promote sustainable use of the land, and support reforestation efforts. The 16th goal speaks to peace, justice, and strong institutions. The objective of this goal is to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. As a sustainability coach, we can guide organizations in implementing ethical business practices, promoting transparency, and supporting initiatives that strengthen local institutions. And lastly, the 17th goal is partnerships for the goals. And the objective of this goal is to strengthen the means of implementing and revitalizing the global partnership for sustainable development. This involves enhancing cooperation between government, the private sector, and the civil society. As a sustainability coach, we can help in facilitating collaboration between different sectors, help build strategic partnerships, and promote knowledge sharing for sustainable development. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brian.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much, Olafake. Wonderful overview of how we can apply the or view the 17 goals in our coaching engagements. And Ingrid, I did notice your note to speak more slowly. We get passionate about what we're doing. So, and we also are under a bit of a time crunch since we are running a little long, and we wanted to make sure that Ritu had time to share about sustainability coaching in business and organization. So, Ritu?
Thank you, Brian. I'll try to keep it brief. So what I'm going to be sharing is how organizations and businesses can support sustainability. And the toolkit actually delves into the concept of corporate sustainability coaching for businesses, focusing on two primary frameworks. One is corporate social responsibility, very commonly mentioned as CSR, and environmental, social, and governance, which is ESG. So it emphasizes that both concepts are vital for businesses and organizations aiming to promote sustainability, but they also serve slightly different purposes. The world of business is transforming, and with more and more organizations stepping up to make a positive impact on society and the environment. But how can businesses do this in a meaningful way? So CSR and ESG aren't just buzzwords. They actually represent a way of doing businesses which prioritizes ethics, transparency, and sustainability. Now, let me briefly touch upon what CSR and ESG means. You'll find more details in the toolkit, so you can go through it. Now, CSR is essentially the heart and soul of ethical business. It acts as a moral compass that guides an organization's internal actions and shapes its culture. And it's something which is embedded in most of the organizations in these days. It all started in the 1970s with the notion of social contract between businesses and their customers. And this idea grew into what we now call corporate social responsibility, or CSR. At its core, CSR is all about doing the right thing. It's basically an internal promise organizations make to treat their people well, to serve their customers with integrity, and to operate ethically. So CSR actually acts like an organization's conscience, ensuring that every decision reflects its commitment to social good. And most often we find that organizations embrace CSR and try to embed it into their culture, where ethics and social responsibility aren't just optional extras, but they also form the foundation of everything it does. From how they treat their employees to the way it interacts with stakeholders, CSR is all about creating a business that's good at doing good. On the other hand, ESG, which is the other framework you'll find details about in the toolkit, is about how the outside world perceives your organization. So, but what is good is all that ethical behavior if no one sees it. That's where ESG comes in. It actually acts like a spotlight on the organization stage, shining a light on its efforts for the world to see. So while you may see CSR focusing inward, ESG looks outward, and it's the framework that allows organizations to measure, report, and communicate their impact on the environment, society, and governance structures. So essentially, ESG transforms CSR values into measurable outcomes that can be tracked, evaluated, and verified. And ESG actually makes it possible for anyone, from investors to customers, to evaluate an organization's commitment to sustainability. So whether it is to reduce carbon emissions, to championing diversity and inclusion, or even maintaining ethical governance practices, ESG provides the metrics that back up a company's CSR promises. So coming back to CSR and ESG, how do these two frameworks work together? You could say that CSR is the company's ethical backbone, while ESG is the lens through which those ethics are showcased to the world. One is about values, the other is about evidence. So CSR is the why and ESG is the how. Now, a lot of businesses are taking a step further by aligning their efforts with the United Nations SDGs, and which has been beautifully explained by Olin Funke already, which focuses on addressing global challenges, 17 of them. And many companies are also following the 3 pillars of sustainability, which is economic, ensuring financial growth without harming the planet; social, which means fostering fair and inclusive practices; and environmental, which is to reduce environmental impact. Now, these 3 pillars actually help create balanced, sustainable strategies that can positively impact both the bottom line as well as the world around us. One thing that I think all organizations and we as coaches have to be very mindful of is the risk of greenwashing, when companies claim that they are sustainable without backing it up. And that's where certain global initiatives like GRI and SASB, which is Sustainability Accounting Standard Board, and there are several more, which you may find details about in the toolkit, help to create standardized, verifiable reporting models for organizations. And I think these frameworks also help ensure that when an organization says it's going green, it really means it. So what we need to actually, as coaches, be mindful of is that how can we support organizations, our coaches, to create businesses or an organization which is a force for good. And the beauty of it all is that these practices aren't only reserved for large organizations. Even small businesses, no matter what its size, can make a difference by implementing sustainable, ethical, and socially conscious practices. Whether it could be recycling paper in a small office to investing in renewable energy on a global scale, the ripple effects of these efforts can definitely add up. So when we are talking about sustainable coaching, I think one needs to be very mindful of the fact that coaching can be a powerful tool to help organizations and their leaders to internalize and champion CSR and ESG frameworks. And by integrating these principles into coaching conversations, the leaders or the people who are part of these organizations can actually transform their personal and organizational styles of operating, even foster ethical, sustainable, and transparent practices. And this will not only ensure that businesses thrive, but also ensure that they contribute meaningfully to society and the environment. You'll find a lot of details about these frameworks in the toolkit. I have just tried to give you a snapshot of it. Thank you so much. Over to you, Brian.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ritu. Wonderful overview of how it actually can apply within businesses and organizations. And you can use the list that Ritu just shared to create that framework of understanding with your clients in whatever space, whatever size business that they are in. The last section in the toolkit is just a lot of additional information. So we have a number of glossary sites. There are so many terms and so much terminology within the space that it's very hard to keep up with. So instead of listing out the terms within the toolkit, we wanted to just send you to the sites that are constantly updated with the latest information. So we have the United Nations-based sites. We have some other nonprofit glossary sites as well. We were very careful within the toolkit to not promote any for-profit organizations or associations, to provide you solely with public information from nonprofit sources. And in the Learn More section, we have just a lot of additional resources that we wanted to share with you. Ritu was mentioning some of the reporting standards. If you want to get into understanding them more deeply, you can view them here. And just a wonderful wealth of information. This learning never ends. It is constant. And what we have said multiple times is that this is the first version, but we fully intend this to grow, to iterate, and to become even more meaningful for the work that you do. And as we now begin to wrap up, I just want to send some invitations. First of all, obviously, the invitation to download the toolkit from your members portal. As shown earlier, we have the 4 language translations available for you. We also want to give an invitation to those of you who are involved in chapters around the world. We would love to come to your chapter meeting and speak with you more about this and how it can be applied within your region of the globe. And the last invitation is, if you are feeling very passionate about this yourself, we would love to have you join our sustainability coaching team. As you've heard from today, we have very impassioned, very knowledgeable, very wise members, and we would welcome you to join us and share your wisdom with us as well, so we can build this wonderful supportive community that will provide us that opportunity to continue to iterate this document so it's useful for you. And I'd put in the chat box, if you'd like to share in the chat box, just how you feel that you will be able to use this toolkit in your coaching engagements. We would love to see those come in. But I realize also that we are past due on our ending time, so I wanted to respect that as much as possible. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your comments, for your interactions. Let us know. You can reach out to me directly, and let me know how I can help you. If I can help interpret any of the information for you, if I can help you apply it within your coaching practice, I would love to work with you individually as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone. Be well.
The International Association of Coaching. Home of the Coaching Masteries.